Let's read all together. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. Bless the word, the reading of God's word.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Woo. Thank you, Jesus. Even, you know, we're relying on the Holy Spirit to do the work.
That's right.
So I can talk about my disorganization and all too, but I'm relying on God to do what he wants to do in everybody's heart.
That's right.
The whole today, the main topic is going to be coming out of Joshua chapter 6. It's talking about, I guess I can read it all to you. Chapter 6 all the way through. It's talking about the Walls of Jericho. That's the name of the sermon. And I'm praying that God breaks down some walls for all of us today.
Amen.
Whatever your wall is.
That's right.
Faith is why we're here. Now Jericho was straightly up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none went in. So God prepared and already started working on them. They ain't want to come out or go in because they was worried about what God's people was going to do. Like he's already preparing us for what he wants to do. He's already prepared your heart. You sang, you gave him praise, you worshiped him, and there you heal to be changed, to make a move. Something got to go. Them walls got to come down today. And the Lord said unto Joshua, see. Now you got to see it. We got to be able to see. I have given into thine hand Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor. And ye shall compass the city, all of you men of war, and go around about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days. And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horns. And the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times, and the priest shall blow with the trumpets. And it shall come pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when you hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout. And the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall send up every man straight before him. So that's why I started out with that first verse. We all got to be with the same thing.
That's right.
We all got to be in the same mind. We all got to be together. That's the whole thing. Joshua, all right. I'm sorry, Lord, I ain't even prayed. Oh, did I? Father, I just thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we just come to you humbly, Lord, looking and expecting for you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Amen.
I got to get to calm down a little bit. And Joshua, the son of Nun, called the priests and said unto them, take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram's horn before the ark of the Lord. And he said unto the people, pass on and compass the city, and let them that is armed pass on before the ark of the Lord. And it came to pass when Joshua had spoken unto the people that the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram horns passed on before the Lord and blew the trumpets, and the ark of the covenant of the Lord followed them. And the armed men went before the priests that blew the trumpets, and the reward came after the ark. So everybody's heading on. the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, Ye shall not shout, nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth until the day that I bid you to shout. Then shall ye shout. So the ark of the Lord could pass the city, going about at once, and they came into the camp and lodged in the camp. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord, the 7 priests, bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord, went on continually, and blew with the trumpets, and the armed men went before them. But the reward came after the ark of the Lord, and the priests going on and blowing. The second day, they could pass the city once, returned into the camp, and they did so for 6 days. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawning of the day, to compass the city after the manner 7 times. Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times. And it came to pass at the 7th time, when the priests blew the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, Shout, for the Lord hath given you the city, and the city shall be accursed, even it and all therein. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to skip that part about Rahab. I'm going to go down to 20. So the people shouted when the priests blew the trumpets, and it came to pass when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight, and took the city. And they utterly destroyed it. That's the text. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
So now we'll apply it to our own lives. These people were slaves in Egypt for 400 years. And God heard their cries.
That's right.
And he delivered them out of Egypt. He delivered them out of slavery. Just like he's delivered us out of slavery. The Bible says that we're a slave to sin.
Right.
In Romans. I'm just going to keep on preaching, and I just can't keep watching my notes and try to keep it in order. But I'll give you the verses later. But so God called us out of darkness. I mean, whatever slavery you've been in all your life. I mean, if you haven't been born again, you haven't asked God to come into your heart, you've been captive by something, whatever it is. You name it.
That's right.
Money, drugs, whatever. Reputations, on and on and on and on. You're captive to it because God says so. So he made the call, come on out. So we come out. We start coming out. We come out of Egypt. And then we right into the wilderness. You know, what are we going to do? God says he called them out of, he set them free. They walked out. They come on out. All kinds of people, not just the people who believed in Jehovah.
Right.
Not just a little bit of remnant of people that believed in Jehovah. All kinds of people came out.
Right.
So God didn't say, stop. You ain't doing it right. Stop. You don't look right. They come. And he allowed it. Just like he does everybody in the world. He's calling. He's saying, come on, man. Come on.
Amen.
Come on. And whatever. You ain't been too bad. You ain't gone too far. You whatever. And but he brought them into the wilderness. And he's doing all these miracles for them constantly, like he does for us. He was provided a way to be able to see. The cloud was over them all day long where the sun won't, you know, they followed this cloud, the fire by night. He provided food for us like he's been doing all our life, even when we don't even know him. He's still providing light. He's still providing rain. He's still providing food. He's still providing clothes and shoes. And he said he allowed us to go on. And they stayed out there 40 years, circling.
Right.
Circling.
Right.
Okay? Just like these people just done. They still circling. It tells us in Romans that we were circling.
That's right.
I have to find it. But it's that. And to prove to us, prove our own hearts to us. If we can do it, I can do it. You know, just like they thought they could do it. And they complained and they murmured and they done what they wanted to do and they turned their back constantly. But God was proving to them who's going to look for me, who's going to rely on me, who's going to come back to me, who is it, who's going to do it. That was in Deuteronomy 8:2. He said he's proven to them, proving their own selves to them.
That's right.
That's just like us circling around and around with unbelief, with unfaithfulness, not trusting God completely, being defeated by our own selves, unwilling. That's what it says, is willingness. Remember the Lord, all right, led you thee 40 years in the wilderness to humble thee, to prove to thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or not. He proves it to us.
Right.
Over and over and over. What are we going to do? He proves to us we got to have a Savior.
Amen.
Just like I said, you go all day long thinking everything's good, and then at the last minute, poof, it proves to you every day that, nah, I can't do it. I ain't perfect. Something's going to happen. That's why we got to have Jesus.
That's right.
Look, they defeated their own selves, not by attacking enemies. They was doing it to their own selves, just like we do. We do it to our own selves and then blame it on something else. The devil made me do it. I use it. I say it. But a lot of time, you know, it's me doing it.
Right.
It's my own self. It wasn't, everybody knew what God was doing. Everybody knows what God is doing for us. They know it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
People knew all over the world. Whoa! They came out, the Red Sea opened, and all these people came through it. You know how that passed around? Said all the world, without phones. So people told people, and people told people, and it just kept going and going and going. Everybody knew who all these people would come out with. God opened the doors.
That's right.
He does it for us constantly. They just wasn't walking in it. Now faith, we walk in it. Hebrews 11:1 says, now faith. Now faith. The faith that you have right now. We're talking about taking a big fortress in your life. We ain't talking about just talking. We're talking about breaking down some walls in our life. That's what we got to keep our perspective on what is going to happen today. I know I got some walls I want to come down today. By faith. I'm trusting that God's going to do something like he done for Joshua last night or yesterday.
That's right.
That's a miracle, man. But God's still doing stuff like that. He's still knocking down walls. What does 2 Corinthians 5:7 say? But we walk by faith and not by sight. We walk by faith. We walk in our deliverance. If you believe, it's in Romans, like I said, that sin was crushed.
Right.
Death was crushed. The same God that rose Jesus from the dead dwells in us. So it's up to us to walk in the deliverance that God said. It was up to them to walk in the deliverance. I see myself whole. I see myself not addicted. I see myself going places. I see myself. I got to have that vision. I got to walk by faith. I can't walk by because I've done such and such, or because I'm going to go and write, check all the checks off today. That's not faith.
That's right.
Faith is being able to walk and not be able to see what's going to happen. You got a goal down there. I'm going to be able to go through that door one day. That's walking in deliverance. That's walking in faith. It was by faith, all right, in 11:6, Hebrews 11:6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. Without faith, it's impossible to please God.
Right.
That's what's all about faith. We believe, and Jesus said it in John 20:29. Down at the bottom. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. That's faith. No, we weren't there to see Jesus crucified on the cross and all that, and then a couple of days later. Can you imagine it in your own family? Can you imagine being there when Peter went and prayed for that lady, Tabitha? She was dead. They was all missing her because she was a good person. She helped people. She gave away all her, made stuff for people, but she died. Can you imagine that? She's laying there dead, and then Peter comes over there and prays for her, and she comes back to life. That's faith. But we ain't there to see that. Our faith comes by hearing what other people have done, hearing about what Peter done, hearing about what Wigglesworth done. That's faith. And listening to what Jesus done and what he said. That's how our faith gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Yeah. You gonna jump out the boat and try to walk on the water like Peter? If that wasn't faith, what was it? He could see himself doing it. He didn't see himself sinking. There ain't no way. Why would he get out? Why would he ask Jesus to tell him to come to him if he knew he was gonna sink? He didn't know he was going to sink. He could see himself walking on the water. That's what faith is. You walk by faith. You see yourself whole. You see yourself delivered. How important is faith? How powerful is faith? Well, I didn't look it up, but I know it says it. It's got to be in the faith chapter, but it says, I'm going to find it. Says that Jericho came down by faith. Them walls of Jericho came down by faith. It didn't come down by God's powerful hand. It didn't come by the shout. It didn't come down by the blowing of the trumpets. It says in Hebrews, it came down by faith. You looking for it? I'm sorry, I just got a line now. I didn't write the verse.
That's right, I got it.
What walls do you need to fall by faith in your life? Can you see yourself delivered? Can you see yourself healed? Can you see yourself being able to see better tomorrow, Mama?
There you go. 11:30.
Can you have faith that God is able, whatever it is? What was it? By faith, the walls of Jericho fell down after they compassed it about 7 days. See, you told them going around 6 days in a row. That's our strength. 6 days is the number of man.
Right.
And it says 7 times. That's God. That's perfection. That's God doing it. God got the glory. I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried to get off drugs. I tried and couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But when I opened my mouth in faith and asked God to help me, that did it, man.
Amen.
That did it for Alwyn. I know. That was the circling. Round and around and around. Every day. Round and around and around. Hoping I wouldn't go over it. Hoping this, hoping that. Same thing.
Right.
Around and around. They've done it 40 years. Thank God that I ain't doing about that many years. Woo, I know people who's still there 40 years later. Doing the same thing. Circling, circling,
Right.
circling. But they're happy with circling. You got to get tired of circling. And God used the same circling that they've been going around and around to walk around and around. I guess they, I don't know, don't really say what they thought about that, but they ought to be able to put 2 and 2 together. You know, they learned. These are whole different ball game. These are whole different generations of people. But they had to have learned and heard stories from the people who went before them, like us. It tells us we aforetime, people aforetime, how they walked around and around in the wilderness. Just like faith is passed down from generation to generation.
That's right.
That's what he tells us to do. You tell them, they tell you, and on and on and on. You tell, next thing you know, you got grandchildren, great-grandchildren believing in the same thing, being of the same mind, exercising the same belief. It's what we got to do.
Amen.
And then God, that's just faith, and then God starts having a relationship with us and talking to us continually, and we start to learn his voice. He spoke to Joshua. He said, see, he didn't send him a letter. He said, this is what I want you to do. He spoke to him. And Joshua sent out people, started lining up things, getting a game plan together. But the order was, that didn't change. The Lord said unto Joshua, see, I have given it to thy hand. See, I got promises for you. See yourself as sanctified. See yourself as justified. See yourself that way. See yourself in 2 Corinthians 5:7. See yourself as a new creature.
That's right. See
yourself, and behold, all things are passed away. The old things are passed away. Is that the right one? No, 17. 5:17. It might be 1 Corinthians. I don't know. We got to believe it. And we got to walk in that deliverance. Yeah. You got to believe that. You can't keep going around and telling yourself, oh, I'm a sinner. Oh, I'm a alcoholic. Oh, I'm a drug addict. Oh, I'm a this and I'm a that. You got to see yourself as what God calls you. You got to see yourself as more than a conqueror. You got to see yourself as who could be against me if God's for me. We got to speak it though. We got to say these things too. Can't just listen to we got to let it come out of our mouth. So, you know, it comes out of your heart, then out of your mouth. You get it in your heart, then it's going to come out of your mouth. I'm a new creature. I know that old things are passed away. I know that God says you come to me, and I'm be confident in this very thing. That's Philippians. Be confident that I started a good work in y'all. Just like when they come out of Egypt. It didn't look like it. But he said, I started a good work in you. Keep coming. Keep coming out of your slavery of whatever you're in. I'll teach you. He says, I'll teach you. I'm easy. He is gentle. He told us this morning, put on the bowels of mercy. Be like me. You know? Be gentle. It's hard, but it can be done. You got to see yourself being able to do it. I can't keep seeing myself being a mess up every day. I got to see myself, yeah, I'm going to be kind. I'm going to be gentle. I'm going to be humble. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. I'm going to walk in my deliverance. Hallelujah. Are you seeing walls going to come down today in your life? Are you looking for the walls to fall down? I mean, fall down flat so you can walk right on through it. You got to see it. We got to be on the same man. We got to be thinking on the same things. We got to know these things. That's what John said in Little John's. I know. He won't say, and I think,
Right.
or it might be, or but, or if. He said, I know. All right. So that's what we do. We get in line and we walk right out of the wilderness, cross the Red Sea, and then we got to go through the Jordan River.
That's right.
We got to go through the Jordan River. That joker was flooded, running out the banks. I learned something this morning and last night. I didn't know they built 2 altars. I didn't know they built one in the river and on the ground.
Yep.
God said, you pick up the road. That ain't, well, let me get back to what. But anyway, I learned if I wouldn't have been looking and seeking after what God said, I wouldn't have never seen it because I've read it. I just haven't seen it before.
Amen.
And that's how God just blesses us on and on and on by just partaking, just by faith. Open up the Bible and say, here I am, God. You know,
Show me something.
show me, help me. I'm coming. Yeah, one time, I don't know if I told you, it said, we came out and come across all these foreign lands because they had been coming through from territories now. They crossed some foreign lands and up and down and round mountains and all that. And that's what God does. He brings us through foreign lands. We ain't used to it. Pastor Chuck telling me all that stuff. I said, what? In the world are you talking about, man? I ain't giving up this, giving up that, and doing this, and doing that. I have no idea what he was talking about. But they were foreign lands to me. God explained them to me in a dream. Showed me me as a soldier with all these awards and stuff. I said, what? Yeah. And he said, and I had to ask the man with all these things on. He said, these are battles I've been in. And that's what we're in. We're in a battle. We got to fight, Jack.
Okay.
Whatever it takes. I was a war taking all that music that I had and into the dumpster. That was a war.
Right.
You, my war. Oh yeah, that was my war. And my awards, my rewards that God gives me. Oh, we know that you get rewards in your crown.
Amen.
That you're gonna get one day.
Hallelujah.
What you gonna throw down before God? Lay down before God. I don't, you know. Things we can overcome. All right, I'm gonna find it in Romans. What I want to say. This is, and then we'll get back to the Jericho. It's about sin. I tried to find it a little while ago and I just couldn't. But it's about knowing that you're an overcomer, that God has defeated sin. He's defeated death. There's no reason to think that joker ain't defeated. That's part of it.
37.
I got 5 Romans. I'm reading out of this Living Translation today in a minute. All right, 6. It's not going to say the names. Well then, shall we keep on sinning so that God can keep on showing us more and more kindness and forgiveness? Of course not. Should we keep on sinning when we don't have to? For sin's power over us was broken when we became Christians, as we're baptized to become a part of Jesus Christ. Through his death, the power of your sinful nature was shattered. Your old sin-loving nature was buried with him by baptism when he died, and when God the Father, with glorious power, brought him back to life again, you were given this wonderful life, new life to enjoy. Amen. That's coming out of Egypt, Jack. That's coming out to a new life.
That's right.
A new creature. There ain't no need for us to let things hold us down. There ain't no need for letting no walls get in our way. There's not. We walk by faith. We have to see it. We have to believe it. And we have to know. Now, God gives us some instructions just like he gave them instructions. He told them what to do. He told them to walk around there 6 days. Don't say nothing. And it reminds me of an old thing I used to say. And another part of this is said, take the cotton out your ears and stick it in your mouth. And listen.
Amen.
Learn how to listen. And that was hard because I knew everything. And but then found out I ain't know much of nothing. It was a other way. So that's the thing. The walls that are, I didn't use this analogy a lot of times about the enemy building things on a piece of property. And I've thought about it for a long time, but I ain't never know I was going to be able to preach it about it. But it was like, all right, we got a piece of property. And then you got somebody coming over there and starting to put up a little tent over there where you ain't going around much, you know? And next thing you know, you ain't checked that around your property very lately. And man, you go down there and that joker got a 12 by 12 oak hut built and then shut the door. Kind of hard to get him out of there because you either got to cut him out or burn him out because they ain't gonna just come out. And that's just like this. This is that wall in your life. That's the same thing. When the enemy builds a wall up in there, you got to tear that joker down. You got to destroy it. You can't just say, all right, look here, come on, let me talk to you. I know you ain't got nowhere to do such and such, but I'm gonna ask you to leave. And then go on about your business. That joker gonna wait till you get out of sight and gonna be right back up in the hut. That's the same as sin.
That's right.
That's the same thing. That's why we gotta utterly destroy it. Because if we don't, it's coming back. It's coming back on me today. I'm waiting for this wall to be broken down. I've seen it. I'm already start seeing it about a week or two ago. But it's got to go.
Amen.
It's got to go. It's got to be utterly destroyed. Because if not, it's going to show its head in some other shape, size, form in my life. And I'm praying and for every single body in here that we all are looking at this in the same way.
That's right.
You got to be able to see some wall in your life that's blocking you from going further into the promised land. I can explain all this about their strategy, how they got up in there. They didn't attack it from the end. They went up in the middle and stuff, and it was good because God knew what he was doing. You know, God had already showed them how to do this. They've already crossed through some lands. They've already tasted a little something. And this time they had 2 spies instead of 12 last time. So you had to put up with all them guys coming back last time and say, nah, man, you can't do that. Once a drug addict, always a drug addict. You ain't gonna never be really clean.
That's right.
You got to keep coming here. Well, that's the same thing as them other 10 spies done. You always gonna be like that.
Yep.
You ain't got no hope. That ain't what God says. He said he knocked down some walls.
Amen.
By faith.
Preach it.
By faith. All right, I'm going to read Romans 8. Father, I thank you so much. When you deliver us, you deliver us. When you give us the grace to walk around walls 6 days, you give us the grace.
That's right.
Because you give us everything, just like you give food, water, shelter. It's only because of you. Now there is no condemnation awaiting for those who belong to Christ Jesus. For the power of the life-giving Spirit, and this power is mine through Jesus Christ, has freed me from the vicious cycle of sin and death. We aren't saved from sin's grasp by knowing the commandments of God, because we can't and don't keep them. But God put into effect a different plan to save us. He sent his own son in a human body like ours, except that ours are sinful, and destroyed sin's control over us by giving himself a sacrifice for our sins. So, there it is.
Right.
There it is. There's the walls of Jericho. There it is. It's been destroyed. All we got to do is walk by faith and let our faith have some actions. They didn't walk around that thing not believing that God won't go knock it down. They believed the word of God.
Amen.
God said it, they believed it. When God speaks to you, believe it. He's speaking. People say, I don't know what God's saying. Yeah, you do.
Read it.
You know, just like I was telling you. And God said, why are you eating in front of them?
That's right.
I know God said that. It wasn't to beat me upside the head. It was just to make me aware of what I'm doing.
That's right.
To think of others. He tells me all the time. Do I listen all the time? No. Should I? Yeah. I should listen all the time. Well, I brought my Rams on.
All right.
So it's up to you to believe walls are going to be knocked down.
That's right.
Whew, Father, thank you so much. I'm going to blast this thing. It's not a thing. It's a ram's horn.
That's right.
Just like they did. And they believed because they was in the same mind. They won't question it.
That's right.
They got in line and they went on with Joshua and God, the ark of God. And they believed that walls, that big gigantic city, the walls were going to come falling down.
That's right.
Now, there's different sizes. People say 11 foot by 14 foot tall, 6 foot thick, and this and that. Hey, I know God can do all kinds of things. He freed me.
That's right.
Just like that. One blast, one cry, one step of faith brought them all down and brought me out of Egypt and brought me in, kept me going, showed me how to walk, got me taught. Then I had to cross that Jordan River. But God baptized me. And then he fills you full of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
And then it's up to us to enjoy the freedom.
Hallelujah.
So, Father, I thank you for speaking to us today, God. I thank you for the faith that you're giving us, because it's you that gives it to us. Lord, I ask you to stir it up in us, God. Break down the walls, Father. The faith. Use the faith. Help us to use our faith to break down the walls today, God. All right, y'all. When I sound this, y'all gonna have to shout. It's up to you. If you are, I'm not even gonna go there. It's up to you.
Amen.
It's up to you. Break down your walls by faith in Jesus' name. Father, praise you, God. Praise you, God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you, Father, for making men free.
Hallelujah.
In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Good job, Al. Hallelujah.
Thank you. I feel like I've almost been working on some air conditioning in the attic. A little warm.
Hallelujah.
The Battle of Jericho.
Oh, yeah.
Jericho. Jericho. I tell you, Joshua picked the Battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I was trying to play, what's that song? And the walls come tumbling down.
Hallelujah.
And the walls
Amen.
walk in your deliverance.
Amen.
See yourself.
Hallelujah.
See it.
Thank you, Jesus.
And don't allow yourself to tell you you don't see it. Because it
Amen.
will.
Amen.
Let's sing something else. Let's sing glory to his name.
All right.
Woo! Hallelujah. I see it. No more. Glory to your name. Kind of goes like this. Glory to his name.
191.
Jesus did it.
Amen.
If anybody wants a prayer for anything, all you gotta do is come on up.
That's right.
What are you singing?
191. You gotta see yourself free.
That's right.
If you was a slave in Egypt, beaten and banged on, treated terrible, starved, and worked half to death, and then somebody set you free, you gotta see yourself like that. That's why we rejoice. We gotta rejoice.
Y'all want to sing that thing?
Absolutely.
Down at the cross where my Savior died, down where the cleansing from sin I cried, there to my heart was the blood applied. Glory to his name. Glory to his name. Glory to his name. There to my heart was the blood applied. Glory to his name. I am so wondrously saved from sin. Jesus so sweetly abides within. There at the cross where he took me in. Glory to his name. Glory to his name. Glory to his name. There to my heart was the blood applied. Glory to his name. Oh, precious fountain that saves from sin. I am so glad I have entered in. Woo! There Jesus saves me, keeps me clean. Glory to his name. Glory to his name. Glory to his name. There to my heart. Come to the fountain so rich and sweet. Cast thy poor soul at the Savior's feet. Plunge in today and be made complete. Glory to his name. Glory to his name. Glory to his name. There to my heart was the blood applied. Glory to his name.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, Lord.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you for all that verse was in Peter on it. First Peter something. Call us out of darkness into his marvelous light. He is the light. And we thank you so much, God, for choosing us, for calling us, for taking such good care of us, God. Paying the price for our sins. Fixing us.
Amen.
Thank you, Lord. Amen.
I need to get my tag.
So she
Oh, yeah.
You don't see my king.
was good.